This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and together we are your KTAR car guys. Heard every Saturday from 11 to noon at Bumper to Bumper Radio. We're helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car experience. If you've got car questions, we've got car answers. So we encourage you to give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. And if you're the shy type, you can text us at 411-923. But, I always prefer a phone call. You can get so much more done.
Right?
So anyway, how not to get hoodwinked like Mike Russell. Mike Russell bought a used F-150, and there was a couple of weeks where he was calling us. He's like, hey, can you come check this car out with me? Hey, can you come check that car out with me? So both you and I are running out, Matt, to go look at cars that he's looking to buy, and he really wanted a four-door pickup truck. He really wanted a Toyota, but, price, they weren't fitting what he was looking for. So he shows up to my shop with an F-150.
With a deal.
And he's like, hey, it was like $3,000 less than what I had budgeted. He was so excited about it. He's like, let's go take it for a drive. So we take it for a drive, and I'm not even out of the parking lot, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this thing runs weird. And we're driving down the road, and you hit the brakes, and it shatter your teeth out. He's like, you can fix that, right? I was like, yeah, I can fix that. So
My dad's got a set of tools, right?
It was like we start looking into this weird rough idle with no check engine light, which was totally strange. And this thing was like a hornet's nest of issues without a stinking check engine light. The computer wouldn't tell us anything. So my guy finally, he finds the wrong fuel injectors on one side of the engine. We fix that, and then still no check engine light. It runs better, but it's still not fixed. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the story. We'll do that in a different show.
Oh, okay. That's where we're going. I was just going to sit down and let you have at it for a while here.
But we started to find a cover-up in that car that was going on. So the topic of used cars, people want to buy a used car, and we see them buy a used car. And a lot of the cars that we work on Tri-City Transmission are cars that people just bought. They're like, oh, I got this great used car, and now I'm facing a $2,500, $3,500 repair bill. And so how do you not, used cars a lot of times can make sense.
Well, but why is that, Dave? Why is it that the cars that you look at a lot of times are cars people just got? And I'll answer the question because I know it. It's because many, many people have been at other transmission shops or even at your shop, and they were told you need a transmission. So guess what? They say, I'm selling the car. So the new buyer who doesn't test drive the car long enough to experience the symptom of the transmission problem just buys it. Then after that first nice drive they take in it, then they realize they have a transmission problem. So that's
well, the people that say no to fixing these cars, they say, no, I'll just trade it off, right? So they take it to the dealer, and most times they're trading these cars in. They don't say, hey, it's got this transmission problem in the background. You guys probably won't notice it, but it's there. I should really let you know about it.
Yeah, I haven't done any maintenance.
Their justification is they got their people. They check it out. It's not my problem. So they trade it in, and then at the car lot, those people don't necessarily find the problem because it's one of those things where you got to drive it 20, 30 minutes before it shows up. So then they sell it. And I always make the insinuation. I go, oh, they'll probably just sell it to some single mother, And just to put a little bit of reality into what they're saying, because somebody eventually is going to get that car, and they're not going to put a sticker on the window that says it needs transmission pretty soon.
Well, and that's just at the car lot you're talking about. But what about the guy? Hey, I'll just meet you at the Circle K. Does he just not want you to know where he lives because he knows he's selling something that he shouldn't be selling?
There's Craigslist killer. You don't want everybody and their brother showing up to your house, so I kind of get that.
I agree.
So it's kind of a complex deal. But a used car, any safer just buying it at a car lot? Is that how you protect yourself?
Safer as in safety or the making a good purchase?
All around.
All around. Well, I don't know. So when we always talk about you got to get the car checked out, and we're hearing stories that some people won't even let you take the car get checked out. And in one hand, I can understand why they don't want you to take the car, and on the other hand, I think you might be hiding a problem. But it really gets down to the price of the car. You take these cars less than $5,000, less than $4,000, man, they're moving. They're like hotcakes. They're not selling. So if I've got one of those, you want to go get it checked out at the mechanic? No, I'm not wasting my time because the next guy's going to buy it.
Right. They don't have to. Yeah.
That's a commodity item. That car's selling no matter what.
That's a $2,500 to $5,000 car.
Yeah, but now you get in, let's take it up a notch. You're 10, 15, 20. You got to get that car checked out.
Definitely do. That car is, they're slower moving. It's not like somebody's going to necessarily jump on it. Let's take Mike Russell's situation. He bought a $10,000 truck for $7,000. But that was one where, and I think when do you get it checked out? If you are in that price range, I would, already pull the Carfax, get a Carfax on it, some other things. And if you think you want to marry it, you think you want to make a deal, you brought up, Matt, hey, why not just make the deal down at your local auto shop? Take it, hey, we're going to swing it by my mechanic's place. If he says I can buy it, I'm going to buy it. I'll, write you a check, give you the cash, whatever's going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a friend of mine. She's buying her 16-year-old daughter a car, and she comes in the shop the other day wanting to buy, I think the budget on the car they were looking at, I forget it was $7,800 or $8,700, somewhere in that range. It was a salvage title. And then it had already just got repaired again, unrelated to the salvage title. The car looked decent, had a bad wheel bearing, but then we could start finding a couple little things, coupled with the guy, he didn't really want her to come bring it and check it out. They immediately came right off the price. As soon as we mentioned a couple things, okay, we'll drop it $2,000. Mm-hmm. Well, that just means that they knew they were already selling that car for $2,000 or more than they should have been. But back to the the Craigslist murderer guy, she says I'm meeting this guy at he says cash only, and he's meeting me at Circle K, to take a look at the car. How do you know it's even a real ad? You're gonna pull up the Circle K and get jacked because they know you got $7,800 in cash that you might want to be buying this car with.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like
anybody
a good idea.
can take a picture of a car and put it online.
Yep.
Get a cell phone. So yeah, I would do those transactions. I know at my shop, Virginia Auto Service, at your shop, Dave, Tri-City, we do these used car inspections. I tell the people, like you said, don't just bring me. Oh yeah, we like this one. Nope, don't. Do your due diligence first. Look at the title. Make sure it matches the person that's selling the car. Ask them for their service records. Really make sure this is the car you're pretty sure you want. And I think the reasonable people will allow you to have the car checked out and do the transaction. If you're prepared, do it in a safe spot, or you meet them at the offsite DMV, or you do that transaction inside the bank.
I like the offsite DMV. That's a good place because they'll tell you, the title's signed wrong or something's not right with it. Mm-hmm. You're going to give them the cash, and you got no recourse once that happens.
Hey, we got a friend who bought we're talking a $40,000 car now, gets a clean title on the car. $40,000, nice car, goes down to DMV, gets it registered. Sorry, can't change the title on this. This has the Arizona Department of Revenue lien. It doesn't even show on the title. The guy's got his assets seized and he's out selling cars. Somebody laid out $40,000 for this car. They can't even get it titled in their name.
Oh man!
Had they done that transaction at the DMV and handed them the title,
yep,
there you go. The other thing we talk about the safety or the protection of doing the transaction. The inspection lets you know what you're going to need to spend on this car. We can see some things right now. We can predict some maintenance that maybe is upcoming, or we can verify that it was or was not done in the past. That besides the inspection, helping to ensure you get a safe transaction and make a good purchase decision, it's a good negotiating tool.
Oh, it is a good negotiating tool. And, one thing, too, is that, you bring a car into my mechanics and you say, hey, we'll check it out. We kind of have to buffer that because mechanics will find everything that's wrong with the car. And the car was only new once. So if you are getting, there's going to be little odds and ends. The sun visor, has got a piece of double-sided Velcro tape up above it to hold it in place. Things like that happen on cars as they just get older. And the cheaper the vehicle, the more stuff you're going to find wrong with it. So it doesn't mean you got to fix everything, but if we're looking at a car that's $2,500, maybe $3,500, that's a commuter car, maybe an airport car. I mean, it's not something you're going to plan to drive the East Coast tomorrow.
Well,
I mean possibly, but you're not buying it for that reason.
And I see people in my shop sell a car. They've had it for 15 or 20 years, and it needs $2,500 of the work. And they say, you know what? Heck with it. I'm just not putting any more money in this car. Maybe it leaks oil on their driveway. That's a good car for somebody else. It's just not a good car for them anymore. you buy that car, $2,500 car. Why would you spend $1,500 or $1,800 putting struts on it if you're just getting back and forth to work, or the kid just needs to get here?
Yeah, that guy's trading dollars for something the next guy, doesn't necessarily care about. That's a problem. So people say, I want to get all this stuff fixed up before I sell the car. No, not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily make sense to do all
Well,
that.
and for some people, I mean, I don't want a drop of oil in my driveway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and other people might live in an apartment and they could care less if the Valdez is parked out there. It doesn't matter. So it's depending on the use, all kinds of things go into that. And the other thing, I can give you one more tip if you're selling the car a little bit later.
For sure. When we come back, we're taking your calls at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. Whether you're selling a car, buying a car, or anything that has to do with your car, we can help you out. You listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio.